Hello, second graders, and welcome to math lesson for today. Our lesson is going to be lesson 11.2, which is called Attributes of Three-Dimensional Shapes. And we see a tricky word there, attributes. Attributes is kind of what makes something what it is. So in this case, we're going to be looking at what exactly makes certain shapes three-dimensional. So the essential question that we're going to be asking ourselves and answering today is, how would you describe the faces of a rectangular prism and the faces of a cube? Now, when they say faces, they don't exactly mean like an actual face like what me and you have. They mean a little bit something different. So we're going to watch the video, and we're first going to find out exactly what faces of three-dimensional shapes are.
Hi there! These boats are kept in a wooden crate when they aren't being used. I heard the park rangers say the crate is getting worn out, so they want to build a new one. Let's take a look at the plan they drew to build the new crate. I know the crate will be a shape when the rangers build it. All of the faces are squares, and they seem to be the same size. But I don't know what shape the crate will be. Let's learn more about three-dimensional shapes.
I think he was trying to say three-dimensional shapes there.
Which of these shapes is a cone?
Okay, so we know that this is a cone from last lesson.
This is a cone. A cone has a curved surface. On one end, there is a flat circle. On the other end, there is a point. Can you find the sphere? This is a sphere. It's round and it can roll. This is also a sphere. The other shapes are cylinders and a cube. Let's look closely at the cube. All the faces on the cube are squares and equal in size. You can count the faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A cube has 6 faces. This is a cylinder. A cylinder has a curved surface. There are flat circles on both ends.
So basically, she didn't really explain it, but faces are kind of like the sides or the flat surfaces of a three-dimensional shape. So she said that on a cube, there's 6 because there are 6 flat surfaces that make up a cube. A cone has 1 flat surface, so that is considered to be the face of the cone. And then a cylinder has 2 flat surfaces, so it has 2 faces. And a sphere, we remember from yesterday, spheres don't have flat surfaces. The whole surface of the object is curved or round, so they actually have no faces at all.
A cube can be described in different ways. Each flat surface is called a face. The faces of a cube are squares. This is an edge. An edge is where 2 faces meet. The dashed lines are also edges. This is a vertex. A vertex is where edges meet. Vertices are corner points. The place where these edges meet is also a vertex. Select how many faces the cube has.
Okay, and so we remember from just a couple minutes ago, she said that a cube has 6 faces, right? It's got 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one is in the back there, and then the 6th one is on the ground. So in total, a cube has 6 faces.
That's right, there are 6 faces. Select how many edges the cube has.
Okay, so then we have to look at the lines that kind of make it up, right? The edges. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so a cube has 12 edges.
Great job! There are 12 edges. Select how many vertices the cube has.
And so remember, the vertices are the corners where two edges meet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So just think of all the corners. When you think of vertices, especially on a cube, try and see the corners, because you'll notice that the corners are made up of two edges that meet each other. Okay, so a cube has 8 vertices.
That's right. There are 8 vertices.
And so vertices is just plural for vertex. So when you see a vertex, it just means one. But when there's multiple vertex, that means that there are vertices. So it's the same thing, just a different tense of the word.
Now let's practice with the personal math trainer.
Okay, and so just before we continue on, I remember that this chapter is called Attributes of Three-Dimensional Shapes. So the faces, edges, and vertices of a three-dimensional shape are all its attributes. Those are the things that make up that shape, and those are the things that make it a three-dimensional shape. Okay? All right, so number 1 says, Jen traces around all the faces of a cube. Select the set of shapes she traced. Okay, so she traced around all of the faces of the cube. So that means that she counted pretty much all of the sides of that cube. And if you remember, a cube is made up of all squares, right? So the difference between a cube and a rectangular prism is that the rectangular prism has rectangles in it. A cube is just all squares. And if you remember, we counted all of the faces of a cube. So remember, there was one on the bottom, right? One on the top. There was one in the front of the cube, one in the back of the cube, and then there was 2 on the sides of the cube. So that means that a cube has 6 faces. And again, they're all made up of squares, so we would select 6 squares.
Good job!
Okay. And number 2 says, Marcus traced around the faces of a three-dimensional shape. So I'm assuming these are what he traced. Okay. Select the name of the shape he used. So when we look at this shape, we see a lot of rectangles, right? There's rectangle here, here, and then we got all these rectangles right over here. So if they were all made up, if these were the faces of the shape that he was tracing, and they're all rectangles, we can easily say that this is a rectangular prism, right? It's not a cone, because a cone would only have one circular face. It wouldn't be a cylinder, because a cylinder would have 2 circular faces, and it wouldn't be a cube, because a cube, we know, has 6 square faces. So we can do process of elimination here. We know it's not a cone, we know it's not a cylinder, we know it's not a cube, so therefore it's a rectangular prism, and we know that too because we see rectangular faces.
Good job!
Okay? All right. Nice work.
Now try your homework on your own with the personal math trainer. It includes the exercise you saw at the beginning of the lesson.
Okay, my friends, so now we can go on to Think Central and sign in and do the assignment for lesson 11.2. And good luck on all of your math homework. If you need any help, feel free to come on to office hours today, and we can work on some of these problems together. Good job, everybody. Bye.